Folks, welcome back to the Jerome Bee Farming Homestead. This is going to be the extraction video and the contest and the giveaways. So be sure and watch the whole thing, find out who won in the end. So I got my fans going here with my other cameras, so maybe you can hear all of this. My iPhone filtered all this out. I've had these fans running, this will be 2 days now, so I ran them a whole nother day. Today's July 5th, and the humidity in here is 45%, just about 45 to 47. Got my dehumidifier running. The temperature is 86 degrees in here. It's pretty warm, and I'm going to turn the air down a little bit and cool it off while I'm working in here. But we're going to extract all of these boxes and going to sum up how many buckets and the weight of each bucket. And we'll also do a pulling off of the cappings extractor. So this is a Hillco cappings tank, and it's got a big thing in the bottom to hold all the cappings and drip out, and I'll drain those and I'll use this extractor here. I have a link. You can't get this from Brushy Mountain anymore because they're out of business, but there is another company, I think it's Blue Sky, that sells these. It's a 9-frame extractor, and I've had this for quite a while. So that's the equipment I'll be using, and a hot knife to do the uncapping. Yeah, so we're gonna have a great giveaway. So Hillco is providing his new E8 electric extractor, and that's like a $740 extractor. So you can whoever wins, whoever guesses the closest weight to what this weighs will win that extractor or the equivalent, and there'll be a promo code for that, and you can contact John Hill about that. And Hive Alive has provided this $85 bottle of liquid that they'll ship to you, and also a box of their fondant and their cool hive tool, which I don't have one here with me, but it's neon yellow and green. It's pretty neat, and it's the one that has the hook on it, so it's a really good hive tool. Wildflower Meadows is providing 4 queens to whoever wins that, and I'm giving away $100 of my own cash for this giveaway, and those will come out in Amazon cards. I was going to do that for the winter, but John provided that extractor. Man, that's amazing. So thank you, John Hill, for that. And thank you, Hive Alive, and thank you, Wildflower Meadows. And I may hear from some other my sponsors as they answer emails and stuff. I was kind of late getting that out to them, but some of them haven't probably seen my emails yet. So without further ado, I'm going to get started, and we'll tally up the bucket, show the weight, and we'll see the winner in the end. Okay, I'm going to start out with this first frame with the 2024 on it and do that box there that's on the top. And I'm going to swing around and kind of explain the flow here. And then once I get started, I'm just going to time lapse everything and get right to the end. Okay, I'm going to work on this side just for this part of the video, but the rest of the time I'm going to work from that other side. So I kind of got things a little backwards. These probably should be switched around this way. So I'm going to start uncapping here with my hot knife, and I'm going to run down the frames. And what I don't use with the hot knife, I'll use my little fork, and I'll show you that little uncapping scratcher thing they call it. Once I get it uncapped, I'll put it into the extractor. It holds 9. I'll spin it out, and I'll put the 9 frames back in the box and take the box out into the garage area for temporary storage. And then we'll run the honey through a small filter. So this is a 2-stage filter. It's got a coarse and a fine, and there's a link to this down in the video description. You can get these on Amazon, and they work really good. Also, when you use a hot knife, you get a lot less wax stuff in your honey as it's extracting, and you don't have to clean out this top filter near as often when you use that hot knife. And I have what's called the speed knife, and that's a knife that I purchased from Man Lake quite a few years ago. So this will go down here on top of a bucket, and once I get this going, I'll open the honey gate and filter it through this, and we'll fill our buckets up. We'll weigh them right here, and I'll take a video shot of each weight. So these are my honey buckets. Nothing ever goes in these except honey or water when I'm cleaning them out. And they're a heavy duty bucket. They are 90 mils. So if you look at your buckets you get, it's like Home Depot or Lowe's, they're going to be, I think it's 60 mil, 62, something like that. These are a lot thicker. I've actually had the Lowe's bucket split on me, and there's a video of that. It's probably 3 years ago, my extraction video. I had one of these split right down the middle, and it went all over the floor. And I also had, I stacked them 3 high out in the garage area, and some of those would begin to split. But fortunately, when they were stacked, this lid prevented the honey from going up and over and coming out. So I didn't lose that much honey out there. I think 2 split out there. So yeah, I don't use those anymore. Those are junk buckets for working in the garden outside. These 90 mils are strictly for in here, and they don't go anywhere else, and they're cleaned and put away every year. All right, so that goes right there. And the 2-stage strainer. It's a strainer, not a filter, so this honey is unfiltered. So if you go thinner microns, that's considered filter, and this isn't to that level. All right, okay, the knife should be good and hot. Try and do this where you can see it. This is a nice thick frame, so it worked pretty good. One little spot here that was indented. And this is where it was sitting on that plate. It pushed it down a little bit. All right, there goes the 2024. This side's a little closer to the center, so the frame next to it was going to be thicker and drawn out right up against this. Let me get my little scratcher thing. So although this is called, or people call it, a capping scratcher, don't take it and scratch. You want to slide it underneath the cappings and lift them off. When you scratch, you destroy a lot of the cells, the walls, and that's a lot more work for the bees next year to put that all back. Plus it adds a lot of chunks of wax that's going to be spun out in your extractor. And that's going to clog up your strainer on the top. So after a while, you get pretty good at this and you go pretty fast. Especially after you've done about 10 boxes. And always have you wet rags on the ready, because your hands are going to get sticky. You got to wipe stuff up. You got to wipe up little spill drip spots on the floor, because you'll track it everywhere. If you do this inside your house, you don't want to walk out to your carpet area, because you will have honey sticky everywhere. So you want to have this right next to your extractor. So you just move it right over. And this honey is really thick. It's not dripping much at all. So we'll do this 9 times, and I'll give you a shot of this extractor once I get it loaded up. I love it when they go this fast. It's those skinny ones. They're a pain. Slows you down. This one, so this was the frame right next to that first one I just did. You can see how it was thick on both sides. Little spot right here I can get with a knife. All right, 2 down. And also when you set your cappings, your hot knife down, try not to set it on the wax, because it melts the wax, and it'll melt, and it'll start melting into your screen down in the bottom of this, and you can't hardly clean up wax, because you got to get it hot to get it off of there. Just something to be mindful of that I picked up through the years. And also, when that roll falls off down in there, you want to take your knife and slice it a few times, and that helps speed up the honey in this capping, this capping tank to go out a little faster, because this is a gravity feed, and that's going to take a long time. It'll take a couple days for this to feed out. And you also want to move it around as much as you can throughout the day. Man, isn't that beautiful? That is just perfect. A little piece of wax right there. It's hard to do this from the back side. There's 3. This honey is really thick. It's usually not that thick for me. Or for the bees. It's going to be really strong flavored, really good honey. So my goal today is to get halfway done. So if I can get 2 of those stacks done, and then I'll do the rest tomorrow. And anything I get done more than those 2 stacks today will just be bonus. Man, that's beautiful. Beautiful. This is going to be really good. Y'all didn't see that. So something interesting I saw last night on Facebook. There was a post from a Houston beekeeper. Harvested his honey, put it in this nice, neat storage rack he had, and he left it there. I remember if it was indoors, it was protected, but he left it there too long. So I don't know if he had fermentation problems, but he definitely had small hive beetle larva problems. So he had cells that had burst, he called it, and honey was bubbling out. So don't leave your honey sitting like this for like a week, because you're going to have those small hive beetles, and I killed one yesterday or the day before. They'll be in here and they'll be laying their eggs in these open cells, and there's no bees to catch that larva when it emerges and throw it out the front door. And those larvae get in that honey, they feed and they excrement, and it's disgusting, slimy, horrible stuff, and it will ruin your honey. So don't leave your honey sit. Most of you probably know that, but just in case, all your work will be for nothing. And it's a lot of work for you and the bees. And if it's all nasty like that, bees don't even want it back. So he was going to freeze his frames and then feed it back to the bees for what was left in there that was good. So I hope that worked out for that poor guy. All right. By the time I get done, there will be a big stack of cappings in here. And I'll need to, like I said, stir it as time goes by so that honey can flow out of there with gravity. Whew, that was awesome. Just a couple little spots at the top. Man, I wish they'd all go that easy. Yep. See, this slows you down. Yeah, see, don't be doing this stuff. Go underneath. So I store my comb when I'm done with this. I'll put it outside for one day, let the bees clean it, then I store it. And that way the bees next year, all they have to do is it's an empty container, and all they have to do is fill it up. They don't have to use their nectar to produce wax. And you get more honey that way. And that's why I use queen excluders, because I don't want brood to get up in these and have those cocoons in my super frames, because those cocoons attract wax moth larvae. They like that. It's full of protein, and that's where they go. They attack it and they destroy it. There's going to be a lot of honey come out of just this one box. It's a super box. Let's see, this will be number 7. Oh, there's a poor little bee. Oh, he's all wet with honey. I'll just set him over here. Poor thing. So those of you that have watched me for a while know that I used to have a taco plate, and I'd do this over there. I'd hold the taco plate underneath the frame, walk across the room, and put it in there. People kept saying, why don't you just move them together? Well, look, I did. Finally. Except they're backwards. So the uncapping needs to be right by this, and then this needs to be on the end. But I just got too much stuff in here, and I don't know. Maybe next year. I was looking at Man Lake has a hand crank uncapping station, chain drive. I was like, huh. And I clicked on the link. It's like $2,000. I can do this a long time for $2,000. I mean, I get it. It's a nice piece of stainless steel equipment, but jeepers. Maybe if I had a lot more hives. But if I had more hives, I'd have to have, you know, some help and not have a, a full-time job that helps me fund this operation. If you're going to make money beekeeping, you need a lot of hives, and you need helpers, and you need equipment. So us sideliners, once we get our equipment all purchased and you're up and running, do pretty good. But the margin the first year, first 2-3 years, you're just buying boxes, buying equipment, capping tanks. And I started with some, you know, lower price stuff when I first started as well. I got a couple of Man Lake tanks like this, but they're small, made of plastic that I use. I've still got them. This Hillco tank here, this is one of the best values for the money. I think it was under $200. It's all stainless. It's not real heavy duty, but it works fine. It's great. And it holds my whole harvest in there. I don't have to dump things out. I love it. And you'll see in my next video my Hillco bottling tank with the dripless valve. Yeah, that was between this and that tank, some of the best things I bought. So go check out Hillco. He's awesome. John Hill. He's the man. Woo, look at that. That's a little lighter colored. That honey does look a little darker than what I remember in the past. It may just be the frame it's in. But we'll see when it comes out and see it in the bucket. Boom. Number 9. Ready to spin. Oh yeah, this is way easier from over here. Okay, here's what it looks like. You get 3 frames in between these little struts. And sometimes they don't fit all the way back, but once it starts spinning, they'll rock back. You'll see how that is. Sometimes you'll have to stop and situate it a little bit so it gets lined up. But I think a lot of that's because I just need to clean the propolis off the ends of these. And I haven't done it because it won't go down in there. This has a ball bearing in the bottom that this rides on. And I have food grade grease down in that. And the honey doesn't ever get to that area. It's concave or convex, and it flows out to the outside, down off the walls, and down towards the spigot. So the honey never gets up there, unless you leave your gate closed, and you don't want to do that, because the honey will get up to the bottom of this centrifuge, and it'll drag it down. And you'll know if you do that, because I've done it. I was like, what in the world? So, yeah. All right, let's get her spinning. So I start out slow, till it's kind of levels out the balance. And this is reversible. So it's going to wobble a little bit at first. Something weird's going on here. Feels like it's dragging. Maybe not. I need to tighten these. Try this again. Oh, I see the problem, for crying out loud. How in the world? I don't know if you can see that. How did that happen? I've never seen that happen before. Yeah, that wouldn't have spun very good. So I can see the honey going out the sides there. Still got one frame that hasn't fell into its slot. So it's dragging a lot. I got it wide open. That's not normal. Yep, here's the problem. That is weird. I've never had issues with these moving that much in the past. And this does have a shut-off switch. Clunk, there it went. They're all in position now. See how much easier that's turning? I have it on number 2 instead of 6. I'll back it off a little. So, get the honey coming out of here. Okay, here we go. First honey of 2024. Oh man, that's awesome. So you do have to watch this. It can fill up too fast, or if it's starting to get clogged a little bit, it'll run over the edge. So you do have to keep an eye on that. Speed it up just a hair. I do think that honey is a little bit darker than what I normally harvest. So what's good about this setup is I can leave this running while I'm working on my next box, and I can stage my frames right here, and then when I'm ready I just pull those out and put the other ones in all at once. So it's a little bit faster of an operation that way. I'll spin it the other direction a little bit while I'm doing these. This box here doesn't have near as much in it, and it's not even capped. So I'm just going to stage these here. Another thing, when you're letting that run and you're off here doing this, you got to keep an eye on your bucket, because you can't get it too full. It'll sneak up on you. There you go. Empty wet frames. Looks like our bucket is half full. I'll give you a shot of it here in a sec. Okay, here's our bucket. You can see it's full to right there. You can kind of see the line there. So it's maybe a little over half full. I don't know if this will be enough to fill it. Probably a little bit of a third one will top it off. There's quite a bit of honey still in this bottom of this, still working its way out. Try and keep it spread out so if it's all stacked up, it won't drain as fast. So I spread it out as much as I can throughout the process. And keep slicing it and moving it around. One down, 36, 37 to go. I think I'm going to call this one. It's up to the bottom of the strainer. I'm going to tilt this. Get that last little bit going out of there, because it's to right here. You don't want to get them too full because they get really heavy. I try to keep them right in this area, and they'll be pretty close to 50 pounds. This is probably going to come in at 47, 48, depending on how much I get out of this. And here's a little trick. I'll let your strainer empty out. You can see I've got a little bit of wax in there, so I can take a spoon and just pull that out of there. Or you can take it out and lift that off and take it over the sink and just knock it off. And it should be fine. But we can go quite a bit more before we even do anything with that, because that strainer's pretty coarse, the top one. That's actually pretty full. So real quick, I'm going to do a refractometer test. So because this honey is ready to be bottled, I'm not going to stick my finger in it. It's coming in probably 16 3/4, I'd call it. And I'm going to see if I can get a shot of that with this camera right here. There we go. Between 16 3/4 and 17. First bucket of 2024. $49.6. Okay, so that's the process. I'm not going to video any more of this. You saw how it works, so it's going to be that times 30 sometimes. And I will shoot each bucket weigh in, and I'll try and get my camera where you can see the digital display a little better. And we'll go from there. And so we'll just start at the highest winner and start working our way down as to who got the closest to the top, closest to the actual weight. And we'll start selecting those winners. So good luck to everyone, and I'll see you at the end. Bucket number 2, 52.4. Bucket 3, 51.8. This is what happens when you don't pay attention. Got that one a little full. Bucket 4, 50.8. So the capping's starting to pile up a little bit. So I've taken two pulls off of this. You can see the honey's up to the bottom of the strainer there. Have to watch this, it'll overflow that strainer pretty quick. Bucket number 5, 54.4. So I just extracted out that deep box that was here on top, and I did a moisture test on that, and it was 14, so it was really thick. And I tasted some of that honey coming out of it, and it was so good. It's a little richer flavor honey than I remember having from the summer spring harvest. But boy, it is some really good stuff. Bucket 6. $52.4. Number 7. 51.6. Bucket number 8. 50 pounds even. 56. Got that one pretty full. Okay, it's day 2, and I finished halfway point last night about 11:30, and went to bed. I didn't sleep very good because my body was aching so bad. So it's been 12 Advils later, and probably 4 or 5 Mountain Dews to get this far. And so I've done 20 boxes, or no, it was 16 boxes in a deep, and I got 10 buckets full. I've got 24 buckets, so might run out of buckets, I don't know. I went ahead and ordered another set of 6 of those 90 mil buckets, but they won't be here till next week, so they won't be here in time. So if I do run out, I'll just buy some of those cheap buckets and just fill them like 3/4 full, and hope we don't have a blowout. So gonna get started again. I need to clean out the fine part of my filter. It's getting a little clogged up and it's slow going out of there. So you see how it gets kind of gunked up. So I'll get the hot water on this and then get it dried off. I'll take another pull off the cappings tank. Looks like it's back up to the bottom of the strainer. And the 10th bucket here is full, and we'll do the weigh-in on that right now. Clean this up, get this cleaned out and drying, and we'll get started on these two big stacks. Hopefully I can get done. It's Saturday. I was wanting to be able to take Sunday off and rest, you know, because gosh, this has been a tough few days, you know, all that harvesting and this right after that. So I did have a day break though, or a couple days in between for the drying period. Anyway, I'll quit yapping and get this weighed in, cleaned up, and let's get going. Bucket 10 and the halfway point, 52.2. Yeah, so one thing I'm gonna have to do different this year, so I'm gonna have way more cappings. I'm only half done, and this thing is pretty full. And I don't want that honey to have to strain through all of this to get out of there, so I went out and got one of my old uncapping tanks that's a man lake, and I'm going to dump all those in that and let them finish dripping out for a couple more days in that, and clean this out and get it ready for these next 2 stacks. Still got my nitrile gloves on because this is producing honey that I'm going to sell, so I'm not going to be barehanding this. Feels fairly dry. Yeah, there's more down towards the bottom though. More honey. It's wet towards the bottom. Oh yeah. I want to give while I'm doing this, a shout out to Jeff Horshaw, Mr. Ed. I just got off his live stream. I was checking out my harvest video with the giveaway to see how it was doing, and I expected more views than it was getting, so I saw Mr. Ed had a live stream, and I'm like, oh, that's why. He's hogging up all the viewers. So I jumped on there and I said, hey man, you're hogging up all my views. And he was very nice. He gave me a nice shout out and promoted my channel. He's an awesome guy. So yeah, many of you may not know, I may not even have a channel if it weren't for Ed Horshaw, or Jeff Horshaw. He really encouraged me to make my first video and get started. That was like 2015, I think, maybe. It's 8 years ago, because this is my 8th season. But yeah, if you haven't seen Jeff Horshaw's channel, you need to check that out. I'm sure you have. If you found my channel, you found Mr. Ed. And Randy McCaffrey, he's encouraged me and helped me a lot too over the years. Yeah, there's quite a bit of honey in this at the bottom, as you can see. So I'll put this out there in the garage where it's hot. Of course, we had a cool front, so it's not hot out there right now, but it'll get over 100 degrees out there easy. And this will flow on out. I suspect it'll get warmed back up today. We had 4/10 of an inch of rain yesterday, which was great. We really needed it. Okay, there's that. So I'll take that out in the garage, like I said. Got this all emptied out. And we're ready to get started. Number 11, 52.4. Number 12, 53. 50.6. 54.8. 56.2. 50 pounds. Number 17. Got this one up into the spinner a little bit, looks like. Got some bubbles in it. 53. 55.2. Okay, day 3. It's July 7th, and I quit last night about 10 o'clock. I was just totally worn out. And let's see, I've got 3 boxes left. The ibuprofen count is 26, I think, and took 4 more this morning, and probably 6 Mountain Dews these 3 days, or 2 prior, and I'll probably be hitting another one here in a little bit to keep me going. But 3 boxes left, and I know I made a snarky comment at the beginning of this that I am not going to spend $2,000 for a sideliner style uncapping machine because I can do a lot of uncapping with just my hot knife, and that's true, but I am reconsidering that seriously now. So I think I'm going to go to the North American Beekeeper Expo in January and see what I can find there, maybe get a good deal on one. But anyway, let's get these 3 done, finish this count, and then we'll get inside and do the tally. And I got to do some pulls off these uncapping tanks. In fact, I left my bucket on that one all night with it open. I've got the one out there in the garage I can make a small pull off of. And we'll finish this up. I ran out of buckets. I had 18 of those 90 mil buckets. And so I ran up to Lowe's yesterday, took a break. And these are 70 mil, and I think the one that I had that broke it said 62 mil on it. So these are a little heavier than that, but not much. And I'm going to try not to fill them all the way. I'll fill them maybe 3/4 full, so give them a little bit of less load on them. All right, let's get this finished up. Okay, this is the last bucket, and I got it too full for one of these 70 mil buckets. This is not a heavy duty bucket, so I was draining the cappings tank from this one and the little gray one, and also use my little spatula and clean this out. So it got a little full. I can probably get maybe another 5-6 pounds out of these cappings here, but that would take a couple days. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And I can say we've got a new record. So I got to be really careful with this. I should probably split this into 2 buckets. But it's a little scary. So I'm going to get it over here and weigh it. Okay, I'm going to talk about the weigh-in in here instead of doing it at my office, but we will do the find out who the winners are and all that, because I'll load that all in a spreadsheet on my computer up there, and we'll see who those winners are, whoever came out the closest. So we had 21 buckets, and most of them are around 50 pounds, except 2 of those last ones I did them like a 39 and 43 to keep the weight off of them. And so the total is, without taking out the 2.2 pounds for bucket, the gross weight is 1,080.8. So I took out 2.2 pounds per bucket to get just the honey weight, and that's 46.2 pounds I took away, 2.2 times 21. And so the total is 1,034.6. God, can you believe that? The old record was 777 pounds, so blew that out of the water. It was a great year for the nectar flow, and the bees did great. And I have to say, this is the first full year since I've been using Hive Alive regularly. The Hive Alive liquid, the fondant patties, and the pollen patties I used in the spring. So I do believe that that contributed to some of this as well. So let's get up there and let's find out who's going to win the Hillco E8 Extractor, $739 extractor from John Hill's providing to this. So even if you don't win, reach out to Hillco, thank them for participating and helping sponsor this, and the other sponsors, Hive Alive and Wildflower Meadow Queens. They're going to provide 4 queens to one of the winners, and Hive Alive is providing one of their liquids. It's $85, I believe, is how much that is. The total Hive Alive package is, I think it's $130 with all the product they're providing. And the Wildflower Meadow Queens, those are about $160, $180, I think, for 4. You'll probably have to pay the shipping on that one. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but they did send me a coupon code, so I'll just transfer that code to whoever wins. So we'll do the whoever won down in that order, and then I'm going to also do $100 cash. So I'll just split those out into 4 $25 Amazon cards. So yeah, 1,034.6. Let's see who the winners are. Okay, good Sunday morning to everyone. It's Sunday, July 14th. I'm here in the Bee Farm Command Center and tallied up all of the weight guesses. We had 276 guesses. There's a few that didn't put a number, they just left a comment. I want to put their name in there. So some of these are regular beekeepers and commenters: Minnesota beekeeper, bow hunters, DC bees. Those people comment all the time. I guess they just didn't want to put a guess, but I want to go ahead and put their name in there. So there were 276 entries, and this column C here is the weight, and I'll get you a close-up of this. And this is the guess, and this is the difference. So you can see as we scroll up, the difference is getting smaller, so we're getting closer to the winners. There's Cajun Homestead, Misbehavin', Papa B, Amanda Sparkle, she comments often, Oklahoma Beekeeper, Honey Hollow Homestead, she comments. She's like the first commenter almost on every video, and she's not a beekeeper. She keeps a lot of horses and other critters in her place. I think she's in Kentucky, somewhere like that. Massachusetts Prepper. Let me get a close-up of this screen here. So you might see your name in here and remember how much you guessed. So these are the people that are just over 1,000 pounds. There's Don Bearden. He comments on a lot of my videos, almost all of them. Let's see who else we see here. There's Texas Beekeeper, 45 pounds under. Baker Bees. Primitive Daisy, she comments on almost all. So next year I'm going to have to do a where everybody enters in like a 10th, because we did have a tie. All right, there's a couple 1,005s. Here's Nancy Knowlton. She comments often. 19.2 pounds away. Very close. There's Russell Koopman. 15 pounds away. So here are the winners up here. So you can see the Amazon cards. I hope I'm getting the right side of the screen there. So here they are, the winners. So the closest were 0.8 away, and we had 2 guesses at 1040. So Louise Ibbotson and Dave Rowden at RowdyBeeFarms for the Hillco Extractor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip a coin. So I'm going to say heads is Louise and tails is Dave. All right, here we go. And it's tails. So that's Dave Rowden, RowdyBeeFarms. So I'll switch these two. I'll fix it in a minute. So anyway, let's get through the rest of them here. So congratulations, Dave Rowden. So that's a Hillco E8 Extractor. That's a $739 extractor from John Hill at Hillco. So thank you so much to John Hill, and everyone be sure and patronage, how do you say that? Patronage. Go buy some stuff from Hillco and help support them. It's a great company, and I buy a lot of stuff from them. My tank uncapping tank is from them. My bottling tank, and I bought several frames this last year, and they're really good frames. I bought a lot of things from them, and it's the prices is great. It's good quality. He's free shipping at $100, I think, and you're on your honor system to pay taxes when you buy from him because he doesn't charge you tax. So when you fill out your 1040, you put your tax number in there, and because we all do that. I know we do because we're all honest beekeepers. Okay, third place, Heath Spalding, Hive Alive. So this year, starting last fall, I started using Hive Alive products exclusively, and a lot of them, right? I used what I needed for my hives. I didn't just chintzy do it because Hive Alive sent me fondant for the fall, pollen patties for the spring, and also used their liquid, and I used their liquid feed in the fall, and when I was building up hives in the springtime from splits and things, I used the Hive Alive liquid in an enclosed feeder inside. And it's been a great year. We had good weather. The rain came at the right time and stopped at the right times. The bees were able to forage, and my hives were strong, and they were ready when it was the prime flow time. And I believe the Hive Alive really did help boost my hives. It is good stuff. So check them out. You can use in the links of all my videos, the first comment I'm putting my promo code. I think it's Darren10 or Darren15, something like that. And you get 15% off the liquid and 10% off of everything else, I think is how that works. I may have had that backwards, but Hive Alive is really good quality stuff. And I do think it made a big difference. And it's reasonably priced too. I really do like it. So Heath Spalding, Hive Alive care package. Guardian Bee Apparel. So they sent me a bee jacket. I think this is my third year to have that jacket. I love that jacket. It is so cool. The air flows through it. It has the face veil that you can unzip the screen and take it down and get you a drink. You can like blow your nose, whatever you need to do with your face. Usually I'm getting a cold drink of water, and man, I love that thing. Or if I'm listening to an audio book and my ear pods falling out, I can get in there, I can put them in, I can do what I need to do. Yeah, I love my Guardian bee jacket. So they're giving away a pair of bee gloves. They said you could choose the long ones or the short ones, whichever ones you wanted. And that goes to Chew RW2LR. And Ceracell is sending 3 things. Beetle resistant frames. I don't know if they're sending a whole box or just a few or what. Hive Defender bottom boards, which you've seen. I've done videos on those. And they have a mite test. He's going to send some of those. So Thomas Clow, or Clow, I don't know how you say it, in New Zealand is sending these. So these are going to take a while to get here. And when I get them, I'm going to have to turn around and reship them to you. So I'll be asking you for your address. So those 3 things go to Dean Barber, Graves 876, and tsbees for the mite test. And let's see, Graves got the Defender bottom board, and the frames go to Dean Barber. Let's see, now for the $25 Amazon cards. I was going to do like a first place with a $50 card, but you know, man, Hillco just blew it out of the water, and I messed up. So I forgot second place. So Dave Rowden gets the Hillco Extractor, and Louise Ibbotson gets 4 queens from Wildflower Meadows. So that's second place. That's about $180 value, and I don't know if they will ask her to pay the shipping or not on those, but they're like $39 a queen, and that's the queens. When I buy queens, that's where I get them. Wildflower Meadows in Southern California. They're VSH Italians, and they're very gentle bees, and they produce well. And I've always had good luck. I had a problem with UPS, tried to cook them this year, and they started out good, and then they failed because the heat messes up the queens, their queen parts. So I let Wildflower Meadows know, and they shipped me 3 new queens that day. So they're a great company. So 4 queens from Wildflower Meadows, and there's a promo code for that. So all you folks that are winning stuff, I'm going to be asking you for your email, and so that's all I'm going to ask you for right now. Once I get your email, I'll email you, and I'll ask you to post a code in your comment on the original video so I can see that I did actually talk to you, and I'm not sending this Hillco E8 extractor to some guy in Russia that's going to steal it. So yeah, we'll work on that. We'll figure that out. But some of them are just promo codes. Some things you'll need to talk to, like Guardian and Hillco and Wildflower, to tell them where your address is. I think on Wildflower Meadows, I just give you that promo code. You log in and you buy 4 queens, and you put your promo code in there, and it'll just ship to you for free like that. But you might have to pay the shipping on that one. So I'm not going to ask you for any money. So don't let any scammer try and surprise you and say, hey, I need money to ship this thing. I'm not going to ask you for money to ship. Hillco might, I don't know, but we'll figure that out. And let's see. Okay, back to the $100 cash, which is Amazon cards, Amazon cash. I love Amazon. So the first one goes to Tiny Creek Bee Company. The second, J Math 2596, J Brant 1077, D Crossco 1450. So yeah, so from 0.8 pounds guess off between Louise and Dave to 10.8 at D Cross 1450. Okay, so 1,039 pounds. That's a new record. It just blew the old record of 777 out of the water. And great year. So I think the Hive Alive products contributed a lot to that. And I didn't mention what that is. So it's a Hive Alive care package. It's a 500 milliliter bottle. That's their big bottle of the Hive Alive. That's like an $85 bottle of their feed stimulant supplement, and a pack of 13, I think it said, fondant patties, and one of their new really cool hive tools. It's a bright yellow and bright green, so you can't lose it, but I bet I can lose them. And it has the J hook on the end, so it's like the normal tool and the bonus little hook on the side. I have a couple like that. They're silver, but they sent me 3 of those, so you'll be seeing those in my videos. So thanks to Hive Alive and the other vendors, Hillco, Guardian Bee Apparel, Ceracel, Thomas at Ceracel, awesome supporters. I'll probably see them at the Bee Expo in January. I'm planning on going. I hope I can make it. Like I said, be sure and help my vendors out. Go out there and check out their websites. Their websites are in the links to this video. Use my promo codes if you would like to, and get some discounts where those are, like Hive Alive is a discount. And Ceracel, there's 3 USA distributors, and they're linked below. Check out the links. Go see what the other Ceracel products. I love their top feeders. They're wonderful, and I have quite a few of those. I haven't tried their mite tests, but I do have some of these Defender bottom boards out there as well, and I like those. They're pretty neat. They have vents that close on and open however you want to do it, and they also, so if you have wasp problems, yellow jackets in your area that are causing you problems, this Defender board has a trap on there that gets those and traps those wasps so they don't mess with your hive. So thank you to all the subscribers. all the supporters and everyone that supports my channel. It's been quite a journey. This is the 8th year of me doing this channel, so I really appreciate it. And I'll be seeing you on the next beekeeping video. Be sure and give a thumbs up to this and check out those vendors if you would. And I'll be catching you on the next beekeeping video. Y'all take care.